Good Lord, I would like to throw my computer out the window. We'll figure that out later, right? Famous last words. I don't know what I did, but I did it. I did it. So this is a day that I never thought would come. For the most part, I've always said that I'm never going to make websites, and I've tried to avoid it as much as possible, but for the first time, I want to actually give it a try. I know a number of web designers, and it kind of boggles my mind whenever I see them work. Like, what's all that gibberish that you're typing? How does that become a website on the other end of things? Now, I understand how the basic fundamentals of coding work, but for me, it's just never really felt very intuitive. I need to actually see and influence the things that I'm trying to make rather than trying to type it up and then see it happen somewhere else. To me, it would be like attaching sticks to your steering wheel, sitting in the back seat, and then trying to use those sticks to drive around. Sure, you could get where you're going, but you're not going to feel like you have as much control over things as you would if you were actually driving normally. That's pretty much why I've always avoided web design, but nowadays there's a number of no-code editors, so I don't really have an excuse. Now, for my very limited experience, the one that looks the easiest is Framer, so that's where I want to start. I've watched a couple videos on Framer and how it works, so I have a basic understanding, but I've never actually opened up the program and tried to make anything. So my goal for this video and project is to create a 1 to 2 page website using Framer. All right, you've already seen the thumbnail, you know how this experience is going to go, so please feel free to point and laugh at the old version of me who thought it was going to be a good idea to not only try to do this, but also to record and film it. So just remember, I suffered for you, so please enjoy. All right, so I've got Framer up, and like I said earlier, this is my first time actually looking at and opening up Framer. And honestly, now that I've got the program open and I'm looking at it, I'm a lot more intimidated than I was before. I thought this might be tough, but doable, but now I'm like, am I in way over my head? I don't really know. So I guess we'll just start and see what happens. I thought I saw something earlier that would allow me to insert like a menu bar. This looks like it. Okay. If I want to make a button, I know there's like you make a box and then you put in another box. I don't remember what it's called. So we'll make a box over here. Okay. Position relative. I don't really know what that means. Because everything... okay. So if I do absolute. So let's just put it there. I'm trying to remember how to merge things together. Frame. That's what it's called. Uh-oh. Okay. So it's still here, just... How do I'd like to change the type, please? Because I know you can make different hover effects. I'm like, how do I do that? Is it a component? I think. So I'm just going to call this button. Boom. Okay. So then how do I make a second variant? Right click and then like new variant? No. Nope, that's not it. No, I don't think it would be stack. I think it'd be vector set. How do or do I just, okay. Haha. Okay, so then variant 2, maybe what we do is like an outline effect. Yeah, I don't know how to like say, hey, this button, whenever you hover, change it. Maybe that's something that I look up later because I don't know. Let's do the big type. Let's do that next. Watch tutorials? No. Absolutely not. So I'd like to be able to work with a grid for this. That would be nice. So how do I get a grid? Where's my grid? But where's the grid? And why are you not fitting inside the frame? Isn't that what the frames are for? All right, so we've already got, oh God. No, I'm not having a good time. Why is V for the pen tool? And every other program, it just brings up like the normal like mouse, like the clicker. Like why? We'll make another box, another frame for like my name and stuff. Why is it over here? Excuse me? Hello? How do I get... It just fixed. God, I'm probably doing this so wrong. For any of you who are used to designing in Framer, I'm so sorry. Like I know like relative and fixed, like it should make sense, but it doesn't to me right now. I feel like fixed is great for what I'm doing right now, which is putting things together, but I guess how it might operate later as an actual website and scale
it's probably not going to function.
Okay, so here's where I'm a little bit confused on the components. I think that's what it's called. Because we have the button front, like, do I have to make an entirely new button to say like start a project or something like that? Yeah, because like if we go in here, oh, well, there we go. I think I'm starting to understand. So maybe variant 2 would basically be the start a project button. I think that makes sense. That makes sense to me, but I don't know if that's actually how this thing works. Why? Don't click V. Don't click V. Do I kind of like click and drag it? Oh, okay. And then if we clicked on variant 2, there we go. Haha. I don't know why the box is like really funky like that, but that doesn't make any sense. But okay, whatever. Hey, we got a box. We have a frame, and it's doing it. It's doing a thing. So now we'll make another. Nope, that's not what I want. Nope. Is it? Nope. Okay, this. Yep. There we go. Okay. Sticky. Absolute. Relative. Please, can I just have my box? I'd like my box, please. What a beautiful box. This is probably one of the most beautiful boxes that's ever existed. Ooh, interesting. I don't know why that's doing that, but it is. Because whenever you scroll, I want to affect this to where it's like a carousel. So like the images will shift down and then loop back around. I don't know how. I don't even have the first inkling of an idea of how to do that. God knows I'm not smart enough to come up with a solution to that. I got to figure out the padding thing. 60 at the top, so maybe we do 60. 90 be happening on the right side. 100. Why is nothing happening? Why is this frame in that frame? Who asked? I didn't ask you to do that. What happened to the frame it was in? Why? Simply, why? Okay, yeah, we'll just, yeah. Forget that. Forget all of that happened. Again, I don't know how much of this is actually going to work and not break. It looks how it should. It probably won't function. I'm assuming this is how we like test it out, preview. Everything's staying where it should. And that works. Why can't I move it? If I ask nicely, will I? How come? That doesn't make any sense. Look at that. Look at this. It's a website. Probably a really crappy one, but we're making progress. So I've spent the last hour getting it to this point, which is probably sad that it took me this long to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here. This is why I was saying something about the how like everything's like relative or absolute. I don't know enough about how to do that or how to properly put those together. So I'll have to look into that. So that way I can figure out the proper way to align everything. So that way, whenever I do go to the next breakpoint, the website just doesn't fall apart. But that's something for another day. This is good. This is good for a session. So we'll continue later. So I spent an hour with my friend who works on websites trying to just get everything to work together and make sense and function. And honestly, we got pretty far, but it just wasn't working. It just was a completely broken website that we just couldn't work with. It seemed like nothing we did seemed to work. And every time we fixed one thing, there would just be another broken thing. And so it just kept going and going. And so it really just felt like it was just all pointless. And truthfully, at that point, I was ready just to call it and just say, you know what? I don't even want to deal with this anymore. It's a big enough headache and I'm just tired and I don't want to do it anymore. But I decided I would give it one more shot because now that I've failed a lot and I've learned a lot, hopefully maybe now I can make a website that actually functions and works. Hi, Austin from the future here. I just wanted to quickly stop this video to point something out. You see this right here? This is what we in the biz like to call a moron. So let me just break the bad news to you. This was a terrible idea. I spent another hour working on these designs on this website, trying to make it as good as I possibly can and actually function, and I actually ended up in the exact same place that I left off, which basically means this was a really crappy website that didn't work. Now, instead of making you suffer through the experience I had to go through, I thought it would just be easier and more fun if I just put together a compilation of me crashing out. So, enjoy. So I'm gonna give this one more shot and try to design this website from scratch. Hopefully what I've learned from my failures will help me make something that's actually usable, but who really knows? Maybe I'll still fail. So let's just see what happens. Why is this just god awful. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Why is it so I move it and then it just shoves it right out of the frame, but why? Oh my God, why? Why would you do that? You could just not. It's that simple. That does not make any sense whatsoever. Okay. Oh, and then I'll click that stupid thing again because for some reason the vector path is V. Okay, so it had nothing to do with the box. It just does not want to let me put it relative because Framer doesn't do jack. So did I do all that for just no reason whatsoever? Why? Why? Like, what do you want from me? Why? Like, what is this program? Like, just scale. That's all you gotta do. This doesn't make any sense. I literally just watched this video and this dude said relative 100% because essentially I'm saying whatever the window size is, take up 100% of that. So in theory, or at least it should collapse because it's changing the width of the screen, but it's literally not doing that. I'm sure I'm doing this the stupid way and I just made the mistake myself, but this honestly is just so frustrating. I'm sure I will look back at this and be like, wow, Austin, you're just an idiot. But right now, I'm just gonna blame it on Framer because that makes it more fun. Good Lord, I would like to throw my computer out the window. Can I not just make the type go small? Still nothing. Still nothing. Great, great. Whoever works at Framer, please, for the love of God, change the shortcut of V so it is not this vector path thing. It's the worst decision anyone has ever made in the history of the world. It is wrong in every single way. Why? Why? Why will you not move? Why is this box not getting smaller? Oh my God. It's all relative. Everything's relative. Just scale. I don't understand. Everything is relative. Everything is relative, which means if I squish it this way and this way, then this should also move up with it because it's all relative. So what's keeping it down? I'm gonna lose my mind. How does anyone stand working with this? I don't know why I had to change it to fit content because it should just all be relative, but you know, whatever. So this is the test. Can I make a breakpoint and will it still function? If yes, we can keep going. If no, I will quit and I will never ever even think about doing web design ever again. It's broken and I don't. Whoever's making websites, you guys are geniuses. I don't understand. This is literally impossible. It does not make any sense. Maybe someone will tell me in the comments that I'm just an idiot and I'm missing something super important, but how? Everything is relative, everything is scaling. So why is it that my breakpoint cannot be anything less than this? Even whenever I change it, it literally already says 810. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to change it. Yep, I give up. I literally, like, it's impossible. I don't know how, but I have managed to just break Framer and all of the logic contained within it. So I give up. Yeah, I hate web design and I will never be doing it again. Hope you like this video.